What's going on out there, everybody? This is your boy, comedian Marlon Ballard with the Love to Laugh podcast. I am joined by a very lovely lady, very talented, the founding member of Kut Klose. Give it up for Tabitha Duncan. Woo, 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 woo. Yo, she's a character. She's a character, definitely, man. It's glad to have you. Like I've been tracking you down for probably a month, trying to get you on this podcast.
Here's hoping that the wait is worth the while.
Oh, it's worth it, and that's good you busy, because if you wasn't doing shit, I'd be like, hey girl, hey, you shouldn't be pushing me back like this.
If I was reaching out to you, like, man, when we gonna do the interview? Hit me up, man. What you doing?
Yo, you got your hands full. You do. You work out. You say you got volleyball practice with your girls. You do everything, yo.
I try to I don't know, stay sharp, I guess, There's no point in spending energy and wasted suspension. You know what I'm saying? Wasted. It's like jumping up and never coming down. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. That's good. So is that what you've been doing this whole quarantine? Just, staying busy, keeping to yourself, all that good stuff?
I mean, keep to yourself, because I got two little foreheads, two little girls, man. Jokers be running me up, and they're young, so I'm an old young mommy. And I say young because, I'm 11 years in the game. When it comes down to having children, my oldest is 11. And so I'm always trying to allow them to become something while trying to sustain myself and become better than where I am and who I am. You know what I'm saying? So in understanding that and trying to achieve a level of, I wouldn't say success, because you never meet that until it's time for you to get buried. You know what I'm saying? It's a continual thing. So of comfort and understanding that I continually understand what it takes to keep going. That's, so it's a lot of work to do when you realize that.
I understand. And then you still out here doing shows and everything. So I know that's really taking its toll. So that's good that you're still working. Y'all deserve to work, especially you. You're a dope songwriter. I love your vocals, love everything about you. And I'm a fan. That's why I want you on this damn podcast, It's about,
I'm trying to formulate a lot of things myself, but I do understand the importance of it. So absolutely, I like conversation.
That's good. So we're gonna learn some stuff about you today, definitely. So Tabitha Duncan. So you're originally from Michigan, correct?
I am. Did I tell you that?
No, you didn't. The internet is a wild place.
Whatever. You probably know what size titties I got and everything. Putting everything on there. I'm like, nigga, did you put that on there? Did you put my imprint? No.
Hey, Wikipedia is a motherfucker. You know that.
Yeah, dude, because I've used it myself. I'm like, dang, I know this. They got this there too. But yeah, I'm from Michigan. I'm from Muskegon, Michigan. A little small town that when I was born, and I didn't understand what the rest of the world presented. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's such a small town. When you're stuck in a small town, you feel like that's the only thing that exists. Kind of get locked into their surroundings.
So you a Midwest. So the strongest people come from the Midwest, definitely. How far is Muskegon from Detroit?
3.5 hours.
3.5. Okay. I got family in Grand Rapids and
I do too. I got family in Grand Rapids. I got family in Detroit more than Grand Rapids. My dad used to have a church in Grand Rapids when I was growing up.
Yeah, that's another thing I found out about you. You a PK.
I am. There's something about that. There's no such thing as coincidence. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you understand a certain pattern in music, and a lot of us are PKs, there might be something to that. And right. I say that to say, certain things in life are true about religion, opposed to not being true because of the experience or things that you see yourself. You know what I mean? I'm not a religious person, but I do understand the things that overlap into your life that make sense. And I think that's the only thing that people can do to attract you to, having a belief system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to familiarize, an individual with something for them to want to listen or, be inclined to understand.
That's
So,
very true.
you know, I understand that. So when I left Michigan, and we moved to Indianapolis when I was young, about 14, I guess, about 13 or 14. So I kind of grew up in two different places, in two different, positions of understanding and growth and development.
So you liked Indianapolis more than you liked Muskegon?
Hmm, I don't know.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember leaving Muskegon
Okay.
and feeling very sad, feeling like all my friends were there. Like, oh my God, what am I going to be approached with? Who are going to be, these are all people that I've grown up around. So, me as being, young and stuff, I wasn't really exposed to a lot when it came down to the world and people. It was just, who we were around. That's why I understand how being at a certain kind of energy level, how that can consume you to think that it's just you and y'all, you know what I mean? But when you find other things, it's like, man, this whole world is out here.
Mm-hmm.
But what was going to happen? So I remember looking back at, the town, like, man, I was so sad. I was crying, like, oh my. And when I got to Indianapolis, I hated it because, my friends weren't there. My comfort level wasn't there. And it was just
Mm-hmm.
different. All of it was different. Different smell, different everything. So where I was in my thought process, I was very saddened, but realizing where I am now, everything plays its part. You know what I mean?
And that's hard moving from city to city because I dealt with that. I'm a military brat, so I had to move all up and down the East Coast. So I lost friends, gained new friends. Stuff was different in some places. You get away with certain stuff in certain places. So it was real different. I'm from Ohio originally. So
Yeah. So you
moving,
mid too.
what'd you say?
You're from the Midwest too.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. That's why I'm like, okay, I know your personality. I'm like, okay, I can handle you during the interview. Definitely. Um, so from Michigan to Indianapolis, and then when did you realize you had a voice? Was it in church, or did you like keep going through life? He's like, you know what, I can sing and I can write songs. I'm gonna start doing this.
Well, hold on. Well, when my family is really into music, you know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so when it comes down to me being approached with feeling like, what my purpose was,
Yeah.
um, I realized very, very quickly because my dad, he is a preacher, so he loves music and he's very inclined when it comes down to the guitar and the piano, and so we were into that kind of thing. And so it was something that his family did too, because some of his brothers are, musically motivated and driven, singing wise and playing the instruments and stuff. So I was around it. But when I was able to get up and learn, like, oh, I can carry a tune. It's fun. You know what I'm saying? You sing with everybody. And we had a little Duncan's group. And so I was probably about 8 years old in church. And we got up and we freaking doggone we had a concert at church, and I sat down in the front, and they were talking about the Duncan's group, and everybody's coming up there, and so I got up there to get in line, like we was in the church choir or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you're too young. And I'm like, the freak. I didn't say what, but I'm like, what the heck does that even mean? In church, you really give people shots because they're young. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
don't tell them I'm going. But anyway, I had no choice but to sit down because it was older than me, so I had to obey. So I sat back in that pew like, and I was like, you just wait. You just wait. I'll show you, man. I'll just show you. I felt that. You know what I mean? I still remember that to this day. And I had no idea what I was talking about. You know what I mean? But it was inside me that that's the first thing I can remember when it came down to me being very interested in music and singing and stuff. So I did it in school, every time I had the opportunity because I felt like I could, you know what I mean? Obviously. So in high school, I was in the gospel choir and, stuff like that. And, you know, in church, I was in the choir too. You know, all the Duncan's kids is in the church choir. You know, there's 15 of us.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, I mean, I was driven right then when they told me to sit down.
So that's what put the fire under your ass. Like, I'm gonna show you, mother. Like, y'all gonna see.
Because you basically told me it was something that I couldn't do. And I know that I could.
And see
So
that right there. That's enough motivation.
yeah, I knew that I could. And so regardless of what they allowed me to do, without me even understanding what I was doing when I was young, you know what I mean? I still had the ability to implement it in my life, not knowing that it was on a certain pattern. It was on a certain, you know, road. I was taking a certain road in life. You know what I mean? I was putting everything before me, and I was structurizing my life. You know, if I can make up my own words that make sense. I'm the only people that can make up words. I can make up my own word. You understand what I'm saying? When, you know, so I didn't understand that that was still leading me to where I am today. You know what I mean? Is my point. So a certain structure, uh, you know, that made me more inclined to be drawn to music. And I started to pick things that they couldn't help but allow me to be in. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
in school, you couldn't say I couldn't sing. You couldn't tell me that I couldn't take it in choir. You know what I'm saying? In church, of course, you try, whatever, and you still groom yourself because that's what you like to do. And then, you know, you sit there and you just think maybe, you know, they'll pick me one day, or my sister will be like, okay, because it was my sister, you know, she was the organ player, the director of the church choir, you know what I mean? So
Okay.
and so she wrote songs, you know, for the church choir, and, you know, and she'd sing most of them. And then she was like, you sound like a little girl when I sing. And I'm like, okay, aren't I a little girl? Like, am I supposed to sound like Big Bertha? You know what I'm saying? Should I sound like my name is Beulah? I mean, I'm saying, like, no, bro, I mean, that's not good enough. Because if I can stay on tune enough, you know, then this is. But anyway,
that should be it. You know?
yeah, pretty much. But anyway, so, you know, I was only allowed to be on certain things, and so I noticed that I had to formulate things for myself, and so I got, you know, with my little daughter's trying to sneak by,
Get her.
you know, camera just like that with socks on and polka dot socks in a row. Get your forehead on out of here. It was a spider that was just by your room, Callie, trying to go on your door.
Mommy, don't say that.
It was a spider, dude. I had to get up from my seat to go and kill it.
You that mama.
And like, they were calling me. I'm like, man, really, dude? Freaking kill this joker, man. You know, I got muscle over here, dog. You know what I'm saying? Don't play. You know. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
you got that.
I'm getting all off track. You know what I mean?
No, you good.
What was I talking about? Anyway, so I was talking about, you know, church and stuff. And so I started to do things that, you know, I had control over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, couldn't stop me from singing in school. So I was in gospel choir in high school. And so we did little shows and little stuff. And so I got some of the lead parts.
Okay.
You know, be like, all right, so they think I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I get more confidence in myself. You know what I mean? And not just believing that I can't do it because somebody doesn't want me to do it, but I can do it because someone actually picked me to do it. You know what I mean? And so, you know, I was on the way. And then after I graduated high school, I got into putting it on actual tape. That's when I met, you know, the guy who helped me put Kut Klose together.
Mr. Nobody, Key Sweat, the smooth.
Not he wasn't the one. He helped me put it, but
Did you who was the person that you wanted to emulate, you know, growing up, like that you looked up to as a singer?
When I was growing up, I wasn't able to listen to secular music.
Okay.
So, you know, I was only introduced to gospel stuff, you know what I mean? So when we snuck and listened to things, it was Michael Jackson, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Whitney Houston, but that was more, you know, when I was a teenager, You know what I mean? That got a hold of her, and I listened to that when I was in high school. You know, had friends that had the ability for me to be able to, you know, learn some things. And then, you know, of course, you sneak, you do what you do, even when you're in mom and pop house. You know, they'd be finding tapes.
So when you started singing, you know, R&B, did your pops have a problem with it?
Absolutely.
Like bad, like did y'all beef for years about this?
No, I mean, you know, Dad's not no beefing guy. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
He is who he is, and he's not the type to argue about shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he has his views, and he has his values, and he has his beliefs, and he is one that's not attributed to me being involved in anything that he considers being sinful acts or the world.
Just like any other pastor fathers, just like
Bishop Duncan. So that bishop really, you know what I'm saying, for real. You know what I'm saying? I was the type where I was very, very sheltered when it came down to music. So the only people that I could really formulate music to that I liked was Michael Jackson, because he was the big thing back then. You know what I mean? And so my brothers then were into it. So we couldn't listen to anything unless they gave, you know what I'm saying? Gave us, I was little. I couldn't go buy nothing. You know what I mean? So all we could really say was Michael Jackson, because he's the biggest guy, you know. But I didn't know about a lot of other people, you know, like I said, except for, you know, when you have your friends and they have these metal rock bands, I'm like, what the heck is Megadeth or Kid and all them? So stuff like that. I just, you know, listen to a lot of, you know, Commission and the Winans and BB&C and Shirley Caesar and Andre Crouch. You know, I was in the gospel.
And you from Michigan, so I know the Clark sisters definitely was playing in your.
Definitely, I'm saying, you know, so I was really subjected to that. And when I was in Kut Klose, and when I first heard of Frankie Beverly and Maze.
Really? Yeah.
And
you was sheltered.
We went to like a show at the Universal Circus, and so we went to the after party. We were the guests or whatever, and so they started playing 80s music. Hey, I like this music. What is this? We were dancing. I was like, what? I like this music. What is this? And it was like, man, this is old. I'm like, what?
Yeah, how old? You about 20 years late?
You know what I'm saying? This is the 90s, yo. You know what I'm saying? So we came out in 95.
Yeah.
Well, 94 with Keith, and then we came out in 95. And so, yeah, I was like, I never heard of it. You make me happy. And I'm like, wow, I love that song.
Man, but, so you was that late person. I got a lot of friends that ain't seen Five Heartbeats. I'm like, you never seen the Five Heartbeats? Like, ever? Like, no. I'm like, bro, like, don't talk to me. Watch the movie. Ever.
I didn't know about stuff like that until I got older.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wasn't, you know, and so my dad then would talk about, you know, Sam cooked them but in church when they were explaining something, because, you know, that was back in their day. You know what I mean? But other than that, I just, yeah.
I got you.
Okay. I'm kind of caught up.
You kind of caught up. You look like you still catching up on shit. That's you still finding out about shit.
Ain't no such thing as knowing everything.
That's true. That's true.
So, you know, let the gates open, homie.
I got you. All
now
right.
That's all my mouth can open to. No pun intended.
Are you good? She's no pun intended.
You know what I'm saying? Lord, people can take that and be running down like Carlos and come back here, yo. No.
What you say? That's funny. So how long did you stay in Indianapolis?
I think we moved there in 85 and I left in 91.
Moved straight to Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah. Rebellious as a motherfucker, but I was out.
Yeah, you was 18 when you moved to Atlanta. That's what I read.
18 years old when I moved here. I graduated high school in June and I moved here in August.
And never looked back.
Hell to the mizzle. And that's
you can't blame it. So you got when you got here, did you come here to go to school? Like, what made you want to come to Atlanta?
I came with a boyfriend, the same guy that I met when I first put my first song, you know, that we wrote on actual tape. And so he's one of the guys that is in the production company that, did a few songs on our album that they helped me put everything together, because they were working with Keith. So, but when we moved to, I was dating him probably, prematurely, what I should have been considering, he's very much older than me in a way where he could have been my, but, hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
So I moved here just to get away because I felt like my body, my mind, and my spirit, my being was not who I was. I felt like I was in jail. You know what I'm saying? Being in my family, I was not allowed to be exposed to much, and I got tired of people telling me what to do, and me not having the ability to find out things for myself instead of someone formulating a certain way for me to always be. Because it wasn't all me, you know what I mean? I'm different, you know what I'm saying? And so, and I'm not saying just but we as individuals, we are all different, you know what I mean? It's just really what we choose to, become our being. And so I felt the need to leave. And so I didn't go to college. I, had was very good in track and field and had a way to go there. And so they were giving me money to do it. And so I was like, nah, bro. And so my dad found out about the relationship that I was in and was not happy with it and was like, you're not going to get no help if you don't leave this situation. And I'm like, man, I can't even do this doggone whatever, you say kind of stuff. I got to get out of here now.
So that was strike two with you. First you want to sing secular music. Now you moved out here with another dude.
Hey, when
I know your brothers and sisters are looking at you like, girls, we glad it ain't us. God damn, like you down there living.
Well, all my family, they're musically inclined, and they are trying to do things that I'm doing, or have trying to do things that I'm doing, the energy of the world chooses who it wants. You know what I'm saying? True. And it's not about someone helping someone else per se, because things will gravitate towards you where it leads you that way, because it's not about me not helping you. You know what I mean? Because if it's for you, then this is not the way, and something else will be. You know what Absolutely. I mean? There's no such thing as anything stopping. You can't stop anything from me, because if it's going to be me, then I'm going to find another way to do it, or life will show me another way to do it. You feel me?
Yes.
And within it all is really about who you encapsulate to even understand that energy, because a lot of people that can sing their asses off will never get the chance that I've gotten. And it's not because they can't sing. It's just because it wasn't for you, your position in life else, and I can't really explain, why that is. It's just that I know that it is a fact. It's not something that I'm assuming, that's how it is. And so the only thing that you're left with is like, hey, that's when they came up with that saying that, if it's for you, no one can keep you from it. If God has it for you, no one can keep you from it. There's no such thing. Well, he stopped me. No, you just stopped because you felt like that was the only way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so if you think that, then I feel like the development of where you are in your growth has stopped, because you can't go no further than that. And so you have to understand to figure out that if you still have that drive in you, you got to keep it moving. And if the world doesn't receive you in all the ways, then you got to understand as well. Well, maybe I'm not like I thought I was, or maybe, you're overlooking, because we have a lot of gifts. Everybody has a lot. We're not blessed with just one.
Yes.
And everything is not for the things that you think it's for. It's for what time presents you, for you to be like, all right, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Because I can draw, I can run track, I can run. I'm very athletic, I was blessed with a lot of things. The Lord, has given me a lot of different skills. I can talk to whomever or anybody I feel like, and make some kind of sense of positivity if they needed it. You know what I mean? And I can write songs, I can sing. God has blessed me with a lot of different gifts, and all of them has presented a time where I was able to use it. And so this is what God has given me to be able to use it in. And so in understanding that, I do understand how, the spirit from music is so powerful, the sorcery, and it has to be handled a certain kind of way. And so when people are given it, I think that it will behoove us to understand and realize the power and use it, in a positive way that influences people to be better and not worse.
That's true,
Because
man.
it's a healing thing. Music is healing, just like water, because even water sways to it. It dances to it. It's a beat. Mm-hmm.
Look at you giving the word this morning on Sunday morning. Tabitha in here.
I give word anytime I speak.
Yay. That's
If you don't do that, you need to shut the up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's real talk. And it's not really about structuring even a conversation. Things come when they come. I'm an off the cusp kind of person. When they come, I don't know what things we're gonna talk about, but I'll keep it moving in the way that it makes sense, and in whatever vibe that you produce as well. So whatever energy you're giving me is what I'm soaking in. So that's what you get.
Power, all positivity. That's what I'm excreting from my pores. Positivity. We good. I've been I follow you, like I follow your page. I see what you be up to. You work out. Like I say you work out. You be in the gym sweating. You be
If I go, then I'm gonna make sure you knew that I went.
you gonna whoop my ass. I know that. Hey, we don't need that.
Usually when you go in, you don't look the same coming out.
That's true. That's true.
So I've been very athletic. I'm a tomboy.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I'm strictly dickly, but I'm a tomboy. You know what I'm saying? And I have 9 brothers. And so we played a lot. And so I think I just developed, to have that, I don't know, muscular build that it's, I think that genetics has something to do with it because I started doing stuff when I was young and I kept it going, I guess you could say. But I do have a lot of people that I ran track with, and I'm like,
what the fuck happened?
Oh, no. Oh.
You wild, yeah.
So I don't want to be, you know what I'm saying? No, sir. No, sir.
You look great. Like you look like you did when we were first introduced to you. Like you look great.
Come
Keep
on,
it
man.
up.
Fall off, you know what I mean? Because short hair is just better. And
Hey.
when you see my hair like this, it's because I ain't feel like doing nothing to it. Because I got the shower, I just put some conditioner in it and slip it down and.
Hey, it's your hair. You good.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it's easy. You know what I mean? I'm not really into the weaves much, but I have worn them. I probably will one day, but it's just it's not no everyday thing for me. I just.
Well, you look great. Keep up the good work. Keep on.
Yeah, I'm a big 4'7"
now. When you moved here, and
I got to keep up with my children. They, one of them's in gymnastics and they be dancing their behinds off. So I can't be acting like my hips is broke. I can still whine like Petra. You remember Petra?
Yeah.
I can, please. Yeah. I more. I still got it.
Yeah.
I was doing all kinds of, hey, that does work. Yeah, everybody dance naked in the mirror sometimes.
Yeah, but I'm enjoying this. Did you when you got here, what did you what was your goal? Were you searching for a record deal, or you were just letting everything happen naturally?
I did not have that in mind when I left.
Okay.
I did like music and I did want to be more involved in it. And so the guy that I moved here with, which became my boyfriend for about 5 years, I guess, he was in a gospel group in Indianapolis. And I had known about him, obviously, because, I was around gospel like a mother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was in this group called Deliverance. And I loved them. They were just great. And I was very attracted to his voice. So I was attracted to him before I ever met him. And so when I met him, you could probably call it an infatuation, because that's what we all do when you're young, you're infatuated. We don't know what the freaking love is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wasn't, my legs wasn't in a peace sign yet. You know what I'm saying? So, the Lord was not looking at the soles of my feet. in that sense. Like, so, um, yeah, I mean, I was dating him and I came to Atlanta basically escaping family, escaping the church life and the structure life of you better do this and you better do that. Or, okay, everybody's got to go to college now, and you have to do this. And I'm like, man, I'm tired of everybody telling me what to do. That's how I felt. And so I was like, man, I need a way out. And he gave me a way out because I was dating him, while I was still in high school. And so, when we became closer and stuff, and he told me what his plans was, because his real close friend was Babyface. And we all went to the same high school, but they're much older than me. But for whatever reason, I graduated from the same high school they did.
Wow.
What a coincidence. I think that we all were supposed to be in this kind of position for whatever reason, you know what I mean? And so I moved there from Muskegon, Michigan, and and the way that I did to meet these people in this kind of situation. And so anyway, when I dated him, I moved to Atlanta because he was moving here to be a personal assistant to Babyface. And so that's when all the stuff started, me even being more inclined, you know what I'm saying? And so he was doing a lot of stuff with Face, a lot of different songs with his production company that they had formed while I was with him. And so I was around, when the Boomerang soundtrack came out, you know what I'm saying? I was back, back in the day, knowing all about that and knowing everything that was going on. And they had written a song, that they were going to put on the Boomerang soundtrack, but it didn't go right because the publishing deal that they were trying to give them was like, But anyway, so I was back there when Usher was like 12 back then,
Yeah, he was young.
He was young back then, before My Way even came out. I was back then, and a lot of people don't really know that, but and so, they got a publishing deal and they needed to, get songs handled as far as getting people to sing on them. And so I started doing backgrounds and stuff like that with that. And they pay you like $200 per song, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This before. And so, me and his relationship kind of, he's very protective and possessive, That's one thing when you date people that are a lot older than you and you're young, you got that jealous factor that is hard to.
Yes, that's a motherfucker to deal with.
Yes. So, yeah, he started, getting in a position where he was being a little like, I can't have my life here either. It's another jail. So I didn't understand, or I didn't realize that I was leaving one jail to another jail. And that's really what we do in life, because it's like, okay, when you leave this, you even put yourself in another situation because another situation took you from this situation. So it'll put you in jail for a minute until you be like, all right, I got to get up out of this doggone place and I got to go to the next level. You know what I'm saying? So it's different levels, but it's still jails because you can't go to the next level until you're finished here. You know what I mean? And so I went into this jail and I couldn't do anything. And I'm like, man, I got to figure out how to get up out of here, dog. Got to, no, sir. I can't live for the rest of my life. And so too much power, too much control. And I had to figure out for myself how to have my control when no one can take it away from me, ever. And it was time for me to become an adult. And so I was like, all right. TLC, I was like, man, I wish I could have, I miss my family too. I had nobody here. It was just me and him. I didn't have no family here, in Atlanta. And so I was like, man, I need to create my own people, it's my own friends. I have nothing. It was like I didn't do anything. So TLC was a group that I idolized. I loved how they seemed like they were very good friends, and I envied that. I know it's wrong to have that, they say, but how do you even, know what to get if you don't see something? Everything teaches you by sight, or experience. And so if you don't see certain things to be like, oh, I want that, isn't that what envy is?
That's envy. I mean, it's really not envy because you wasn't hating them per se. You wanted what they had.
Right, but but it's still envious to what they have.
Yes, you can say that, yeah.
So it's weird to say that, in that sense, but that's still true. You know what I mean? But it gives you the drive still. You know what I mean?
It puts fire in the air.
gave me the drive to, make my own situation where I could have my own stuff and no one could take it away from me. It would be my girls, you know what I mean? So that's when I created, Kut Klose.
So how did you meet Athena and Levon?
Well, it was a friend that we had in Indianapolis that was Athena's uncle that we knew. And he said that he had a niece that, could sing and gave us her demo tape. And I was like, son of a bitch, this girl. I loved it immediately. I was like, I love it. Absolutely love it. And so I started talking to her. And when we started talking on the phone, we never stopped.
Okay.
We became best friends, and then she came to Atlanta to meet me and, in person. And it's like, man. And then we had another girl that was in the group before Levon was, but she was tall and just didn't, the energy not there. Me and Athena's energy was immediate. You know what I mean?
Match made right there. Bam.
Immediate. Like God made bitch. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, tell your mother that she made you for me, Nicole. You know what I'm saying? She made you for me. But so it was already a done deal when it came down to us not leaving each other. She was going to be a part. You know what I mean? And so Levon basically called the production team that I was working with because one of the other guys knew her manager at the time, or the guy who was basically representing her. She's like, he was not my manager, but in the world that we see it in, the way that it happened, he was the manager. And so he said that she was looking to be in a group. And so she tried to be in another group that Keith had already had that I knew. I knew those girls, the girls that was in, trying to, Keith was thinking about signing them, but he wanted them to do, different things and, work out and, create demo tapes and, for him to make his decision. And they were doing that way before I was doing it. You know what I'm saying? So she had already had a group and I was like, man, I won't. So anyway, when I got Kut Klose together, Levon had called trying to be in that group. And I was like, he's like, no, but there is another group that she can, there's looking for another group that we're working with, another member that we're working with.
Yeah.
And came down and came to the house because that's where the studio was, in the house that I was living in with my boyfriend at the time, Emmanuel. And I was like, how the hell does this little girl look like my family now? You know what I'm saying? She's short. She's 4'9".
Jesus.
And so weird that she looked just like my aunt. I'm like, how the fuck is this possible? And then when she sang, and so I'm like, man, she's a soprano too. We needed a soprano because I can sing the low part. I think it was the alto. And so when we sang it, it was like, well.
There we go.
Our name wasn't Kut Klose then, though. But we didn't know what it was going to be. But we named ourselves eventually something called Nubian 3. Because it was out during those days with, Brand Nubian came out, back in those days, Karis, everybody, you know what I'm saying? So that was the ambiance of the world, i.e. what I was talking about. When you have a certain energy that you're around, everybody gets consumed in whatever it is at the moment.
Exactly.
Like, clothing changes when, tight pants came in style. Somebody was like, ooh, I like those. And then more people did it. So, anyway. So, and we were like, shipping our stuff to different people. We went to Warner Brothers. We went to Eazy-E. He was interested in signing us too. Mm-hmm. And I told Emmanuel, I said, why don't you just go on and give it to Keith? You know what I'm saying? Even though he was still interested in the other girls, I'm like, it ain't gonna hurt. You know what I'm saying?
It won't hurt to try. Shit. She said,
I work about devil's advocate though. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
But hey, why not give people a choice? You know what I'm saying? If somebody choice between a fly woman opposed to a woman that you make a big ass mistake with, when you want that choice, nigga. So I was like, go on and take us over there. So Keith heard us and was like, what they look like, baby, they cute. And it was like, gave him my pictures and stuff, and he was like, okay, can you tell him to come over tomorrow? Tomorrow, what?
That's soon.
You know what I'm saying? But we was like, we found a way. We made it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we came, and then he saw us, and he laughed and smiled, whatever. And then he had us go in the booth and sing "Get Up On It." Try it out, and that's how we auditioned in front of him. He taught us "Get Up On It," and we sang it. And then when we finished, he's like, I want to sign y'all, baby. And I'm like, And so we, of course, we went back like happy, but we still had to think about it because, you know, Warner Brothers was interested, and then Easy Ruthless was interested.
Yeah.
We basically came up with the conclusion that it would be smart to do Keith because he was here in Atlanta. More things you could get more. You know what I'm saying? It was better. It was easier. It was right here. Yo. Everything else was in LA.
And you was already familiar, so yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so that's how that happened. And then he was like, "You have to change that name." He did not like that name.
The Nubian 3.
Yeah. And so I went back, and then Kut Klose. Basically, the first thing you go through is like, okay, what are our names and stuff like that, and you try stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
To try and figure out, But I figure, our letters in the alphabet is BCD, and we're like 2.5, 3 inches apart with height, and age 3 years apart in the age between the three of us, and we look pretty similar. And I'm like, man, we cutting it close like a motherfucker. And so I was like, Kut Klose. It was just one of the choices. And instead of C's, I put a K because Keith's name started with K.
Mm.
And it just happened to be everything that we were. But late years after that, if I would have thought about it, it's crazy because even we all met here in Atlanta, right? Our initials is ATL.
God damn.
And you know what I'm saying? That's what I said.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Athena Tabitha Lavon. It's fucking ATL.
This was meant to be right here.
Absolutely. That's my whole point. All was meant to be in the way that it was supposed to be. So I think that if anything were to be out of place in one way, it could have deterred the whole thing. In that sense, it may not have been them, but I can't really say that because I think that everything happens the way it's supposed to. And it's unfortunate that, things have been, brought into the world that brings demise to people that are, not, worthy of such a thing. You know what I mean? When evilness, takes over and either, someone gets killed a certain kind of way or any kind of terrible thing, it's hard for me to come to terms with understanding why that happens. And, little kids get cancer and it's some people are chosen and other, opposed to other people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For that too. And I'm like, damn, yo, why are some people blessed and some people not? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really understand that still. I'm still looking for a rational reason because if it's not fair to one person, then I don't really get it. I don't get what the end result is supposed to be. And so with my parents being preachers and stuff, they teach you about heaven and hell.
Yeah.
About things that are right and wrong. You know what I mean? But I think through it all, at the end of the day, I feel like I'm still stuck with belief and understanding because, you teach us about right and wrong, and then you teach us about God and him being, more understanding than anybody on the face of the planet, or more loving than anybody on the face of the planet, and more forgiving than anybody on the face of the planet. But then you teach him to be someone who's like a scorned female. Like, I'm jealous because you're doing this and I'm mad at you. Like, you know what I'm saying? You create us, but there's nothing in life that my children can do to make me want to throw them in a pit of fire. And that's what I was taught when I was growing up, the lake of fire, like, burn forever and ever. And I'm like, there's nothing my kids could ever do that would make me do such a thing. So how could God have so much more love or less love than I do?
It's true.
So in the way that the world teaches you, for me to understand and really trust who God is, it can't be what they say. Because something ain't right, homie. That's like one leg short and one leg motherfucking long. Something's not adding up in this bitch. There's a missing space somewhere. Because then you put me in the position of having more compassion than God. And I don't think that that's possible. And I think that people make you believe certain things according to what they believe, but don't even understand that it's got to be better than that because you can't possibly understand either.
So they work it off fear.
Yes, they're teaching with fear and not love. And so when I left home, I realized that was the case, that I learned with God through fear. And I had to figure out what and who he is through love. after home and then reinserting myself back into what I was taught when I was little to keep the authenticity of what it was, of the merit of what they was teaching me, and take out the traditional and the selfishness and the hatred when it comes down to them either, being mad because they can't, do certain things that they, wish that they could do, but they can't do it because they stuck, because they don't want to go to hell, but then they mad at senators because they doing certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I'm like, you're mad because you can't go out there and stick your dick in something? But then they have shortcomings of thought process, behind the pulpit, and not understand that they're spewing hypocrisy.
Definitely.
In being, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so when it comes down to the teachings, I can't respect it in that sense, because it's not taught out of love, it's taught out of hate. And that's what they make you feel. They don't make you feel love. And since I don't feel that, then there's something wrong with that picture, because I'm not trying not to feel it. It's just a fact. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. All facts. Hey, you are absolutely right. No, hey.
With that.
Hey, you're absolutely right. Hey, no dispute here. No dispute here. So so y'all get to the studio. What was y'all's direction with going with the first album?
Well, we was a gospel, urban contemporary gospel.
Okay.
I did that because of my dad.
Okay.
And so we were writing songs that could be gospel or it could be, secular, like Baby and CC. But when we met Keith, it all changed when we went in there and started singing Get Up On It. Because all of our songs were very, very clean, very safe, with just, butterflies and Smurfs running through the woods singing. So, but when we got the key, everything changed, and then we was on our back with our legs up like a peace sign.
Like the peace sign. I was about to bring it up, the peace sign.
So since I started fucking, I was still fucking. And now, so
no
it's
filter at all.
I can get around a
No. Like I like this. I like your personality. Like let it out. Let it out. Let the Lord use you, baby. Let him use you. Let him use you.
So I mean, so we started singing, songs that was, about blast in your head. You know what I'm saying? So every song was sexual, every last one of them.
Uh-huh. So what made y'all, since y'all were a trio, of course, what made y'all, what made y'all take a different direction, from like the Totals and the Jades and the SWVs? What made y'all want to stand out? How did y'all stand out?
Well, I mean, I don't know that we did. You know what I mean? I didn't really realize the impact that Kut Klose had on people until social media. And I say that because you're not really privy to what your fans say unless you go to a concert. Mm-hmm. Or have a radio show and someone calls in and you talk. But we didn't have a lot of accesses to fans talking to you and saying what they feel. That's true. What I mean? So when social media came out, that's when you realize, God damn, these jokers talk on.
Y'all love us.
Okay. Yeah. And so that's when, everything came to light. Like, man, they really, and it is amazing considering, people who do come in the business and people that are not remembered, or, because I'm not gonna front, Kut Klose only had one album. You know what I'm saying?
But it feel like y'all got more, because I guess the songs y'all did with Keith, like it gave y'all extra lifeline.
Well, yeah, I mean, we came out with Get Up On It first, but even though Get Up On It was on our album, and then us doing Twisted, you know what I'm saying? But Twisted was actually written, by Kut Klose, by us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, before the freaking album ever even came out, we just didn't choose for it to be on our album. Then Keith heard it and put his vocals on the verses. Okay. And then later, the situation and kept, us on the background. And I'm like, yeah, we wrote that song.
So is there a version of Twisted where y'all take over the whole song?
Yeah, I don't know where it is, but yeah, there's a finished version. I need to ask Eric McCain.
That needs to get released.
He's the one that did the track and wrote it with us. So yeah, but Keith got it, and and then Twisted gave us another lifeline. You know what I mean? But Keith didn't really give us much credit on that song.
Which like for Twisted, I give y'all this because there's very few dudes, like it's a man code, out here where certain dudes shouldn't sing certain songs. But when Twisted come on, I hear dudes singing y'all part and Keith part. Like they changing their voice and everything, kind of
yeah.
Kind of like Contagious, like the last verse of Contagious. What the hell is good? Like dudes singing Shantae Moore part, they singing Isley part. They're like, y'all have that factor with dudes where they singing all y'all parts, and they like, hey, bro, hey, I'm still hard, but y'all did y'all thing on Twisted.
There's a lot of guys really like Kut Klose, just period.
Yes.
Because of it being a chick magnet.
That's true.
I mean, come on. I know they was fucking like you know what I'm saying, on that song. Like, you know what I'm saying? You came and told me I had some babies. I'm like, I don't want that visual, Dal. No, sir. I mean, you know what I'm saying? What you doing, man? But yeah, guys, they seem to, and I don't know if it's just the swag of us not being overly sexual.
Because I don't remember y'all being super overly sexual. The songs definitely were secular, but I don't remember seeing y'all out here with y'all, just.
Yeah, we basically stayed in the realm of, what was, tight back then. We all had baggy clothes, TLC had to the back in the day, you know what I'm saying? We all had baggy clothes back then. And then Twisted, we kind of came out of the shell a little bit and we dressed more sexy.
Yes.
But usually, like, you know how Aaliyah dressed? We all dressed like that.
Yeah.
We were all
the baggy clothes and the sunglasses.
Yeah, right. Cross colors, you know what I'm saying?
Carl Kanai.
Jabot jeans, Janko jeans, it's just a lot of different styles that we were, but yeah. So, I mean, yeah, guys, some people know the entire song. I met this one guy who knew all the freaking ad-libs and everything. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I'm guilty. I am very guilty.
Oh, my goodness, man.
I'm guilty.
But I think that it's just easy on the ears for, I think it's the sing-along hooks that we write. And,
it's sing-along hooks, and y'all merged perfectly. Y'all didn't try to over-sing each other. Like, it was a perfect harmony that y'all did.
I met them, so it would be fitting that it did the same thing when our voices started, making love in the air together.
You have a way with words, I'll tell you that much. Like, I'm gonna be using peace sign all day now. Girl, put that peace sign up.
The vivid and visual admiration of having a conversation.
I got you. So with Kut Klose, so why only one album?
Because we got a hold of some people that were assholes and got into the circle and broke the circle up. You know what I mean? Literally.
That happens a lot.
Yes, it does. And I was prepared for it to happen. It just sucked when it happened to me. Because I knew that the possibility existed. And that was the only reason why I decided for it to only be 3, because I didn't want too much crap. You know what I'm saying? I was like, we need enough where we could have a harmony and people be like, yeah, that was dope. But that 4 and 5 shit, nah, bro.
It's too much.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. And you can't really say that, but if I were to think about everything, shit, 2 people in a relationship is almost fucking too much. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody's cheating. You know what I mean? What the hell? You know what I'm saying? So if got a relationship you dealing with and you taking your time out with this one joker, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, just imagine 2 other people that have the ability to bring in a whole bunch of other people depending on whatever kind of situation they're in. So it's very difficult to keep things in the right kind of flow and view for it to cohesively be positive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not somebody come in and mind fuck you, and
That's
you
right.
usually does come in and fuck your shit all up. You know what I'm saying? And it jacks us up in the same, because if you ain't together, we ain't together. And so that's what I tried to teach them, when we first got together. I was like, the only way that this group will ever break up is because if it's one of you guys, it ain't gonna never be me, because I can see it coming. I know what people do in groups to, divide and conquer.
Yes.
And that's what people did when you try to be positive and you try to do things in the right way. You always have someone that's not wanting things to be done in the right way. So they always try to do it in the wrong way. When the right person finds or catches that and tries to stop it from happening, then it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so I became a problem because I see things too much. I see it very easily of what people's intentions are. And so sometimes I spoke too soon, but I was the one that was always the head, the mouthpiece for Kut Klose, because people would try to bullshit us in a lot of different ways. You know what I'm saying? And, right is right, but it's not really about what's right. It's about what they can get away with. You know what I'm saying? People don't really do what's right. People do what they feel like they can get away with, and take as much as they can and keep moving. That's just the nature of people for whatever reason. It's trying to figure out racism. Shit, it started now. Just got to figure out, be smart about it.
See, and I feel like we got robbed of that, because whoever fucked up, that dynamic of the group. Like, I feel like y'all definitely could have went
Yeah,
further.
but it was up to us to be able to get through that and to deliver something. So really it's internally.
Okay.
But not really robbing. I think that, we're not dead. And
You're
even
not.
we've been dormant for a while. We've done a lot of new things. We're just waiting on when the right time is to bring it out. Because right now it's so crazy. You can even really tour off of it or anything. So it's just really just trying to get everybody to understand or see how, the best way to go. But one thing that I have realized in being in a group is to never put all of your apples in one barrel, because you can't move the way that you need to move. Being an individual, I wake up by myself every
Yeah.
morning. I go to the potty and wipe my own pussy alone. You understand?
There you go.
So I'm alone in this, and so I have to have other things that are offsprings of who I am, that it doesn't involve Kut Klose. It's not healthy to have anything all in one situation, because like I said, we are all blessed with different kinds of gifts, and the Lord or the ambiance of the world presents you opportunities to be able to show and be able to use it in that sense. And so it allowed me to find out who I was, and not really just say me if Kut Klose. You know what I mean? It individualized me because I was forced to when they broke up the group. And, they wanted to do some crazy things, and they tried to replace two of us, and I'm it's my group. Huh? You gonna my group? You gonna take
Exactly.
my, you know what I'm saying? It's before you was even here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you gonna take my group? That stuff was, that put a fire in me that lit so many, like all those fires that's been going on in California and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's basically still some fires being put out inside of me. And I'm not saying that, it's a problem. I'm saying that it's motivation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's more like fire starter. I mean, they made me fire starter. You know what I'm saying? That just built up something in me to have the wherewithal and the might and the drive to continue on, no matter what it was that I did, and not allowing that one person or too many people to have the power to, structureize me in a way where they make me go this way because I don't have no choice. I want more choices than what you're giving me, So I try to capture everything, and I try to take everything that God has given me gift wise, and I try to use it in the best way that life presents me for me to, use that opportunity. And so when I realized I had more to offer than just Kut Klose, because even though I am 1/3 of Kut Klose, I did create, my vision of what my thought process was. And if I use that formula and I continue in my life, then I have to have you know, since I'm the tree, you know, my branches got to do the same thing in different ways. And that's why I do working out. You know what I'm saying? That's why I do it for my mind. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feed my mind spiritually as well. You know, it all, you know, has something to do with the other. You can't have one without the other. You know, so I try to breathe in every molecule, every atom, every neutron and electron, you know. And instead of, you know, looking at it in a negative way, I try to use it positively and work on the things that make that so, and be a red line in a blue sky.
Okay. This one thing I did learn about you, like you don't like being told no. You get told no, or somebody's trying to bullshit you, you are like, okay, I'm at your neck now. I'm about to fuck you
Not
up, man.
light. If you're trying to dim my light, it's trying to shine. You trying to put a sheet over it, ain't for you.
Absolutely.
Get out the room. You know what I'm saying? You don't belong.
Absolutely. Hey. No.
You know, I feel like Gandalf in Lord of the Rings when he said, "You have no power here."
Love that movie, by the way.
Wow. I'm 5'1", but when I get up, I feel 7 feet tall. You know what I'm saying? People probably look at me and be like, "Man, she's short," but I feel tall as a come over here and I'll show you how short I am, because I see that doggone bulls on your chin that I'm about to doggone hit in the middle and be like, "Catch up!" You know, so, you know, it's me and my daughters, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not married, and so, you know, I live in a home with me and my girls, and I got to be able to handle myself in every way that this body can do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And underestimate, you know, short people. You know, don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like that motherfucking salamander. It's hard to catch them bitches. You know what I'm saying?
It's gone now.
That's me. You know what I'm saying? I use everything, yo. You know what I'm saying? Turning them on just like a helicopter.
You are wild. Yo, after you know, your album dropped and everything, after that, what did you do? You kept songwriting, obviously. You wrote for a lot of people.
I tried to find out where my pen could take me.
Okay.
Because, you know, I wasn't structured like Heath wanted us to be with just singing, you know, the songs that he gave us to sing. And I say gave us to sing because it was a certain kind of vibe that we could have on the album. You know what I mean? And I'm like, because I'm a very metaphorical writer. I write and I speak in a lot of them too when it comes down to explaining things. But I had to kind of like, you know, ABC and 1, 2, 3 it, you know, in the R&B world, you know, kind of water it down, because they were like, it's too hard to understand. I'm like, just, you know, it was hard for me to do it at first, and then I learned that it was just talking.
You had to stoop to their level.
Look, talking nasty.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, let me see how dumb this will sound or something. No, but I did have to change the way that I, you know, but yeah, it's nice to be able to still, you know, really search inside yourself and become and become who you really are.
Yeah.
And the freedom to find out who I was, because I wasn't really understanding then who I was. It still was on the way to knowing. And I'm still on the way to knowing. But I definitely have a better view now than I did 20 something years ago. You know what I mean? 25 years ago.
And that don't even seem like 25 years ago, do it? It seemed like the 90s was 10 years ago.
I say that sometimes until one day I looked at my titties. I was like, shit, it's been 25 years ago. But then I was like, shit, nigga, I'm about to go. But, you know, when I realized, you know, people, I was like, shit, I'm good, man. So as young as hell, what the hell do you look like? How old are you? 21? 21!
That's so, the look you gave him? That's the look?
Yeah, when young, a lot of kids have babies early. And so their bodies get jacked up.
Yeah, that's true.
Then they get into a position where it's like, what the hell just happened here? But I had two. But I
Yeah.
right. You know what I'm saying? It's just really about the dedication that you want for yourself. But I say that to say that I still look all right. You know what I mean? I mean,
You look great.
I got gray hair and stuff. Sometimes when Miss Claire don't get a hold of it.
I can't see none, so it don't exist. All right, you good?
So I comb that joker down like a toupee. You know what I'm saying?
That's why you comb it to the side. You do
Comb on.
The mad scientist does it.
It is what it is. You know what I mean? We all get old. We
Yeah.
get old. It's a blessing. So enjoy it. Just like every second and every minute is a blessing. So everything that you can feel like you can enjoy it. So if you kiss somebody, kiss them like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't waste seconds and minutes up. You know what I mean? If you're hugging, everything that you do it well. Just like if you go to the doggone gym and you use a freaking machine, fucking use that joker. Don't go over there playing. You know what I'm saying? Don't go over there molesting the machine, yo. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Do that joker right. You know what I'm saying? Use that joker the way.
Yeah. Like, and when you're done, you got to do the. You are wow. I love it. I love it, yo.
But it helps me. It helps me stay up to par with just life in general and being able to be a light for somebody. Working out does a lot for your spirit. It does a lot for your body, because when you work out and then your body obeys and you obey to the drive and the motivation that makes you get out there to depend on yourself and be determined enough to do it. And then you start seeing the results in your muscle. You're like, God, dog, I see it. If you did that in other ways in your life, that's what happens. So I'm trying to be an example in every way that I walk. And I know that I cuss sometimes. And, at that time, that's not meant for you to be like, okay, do every word that's right. We ain't playing that game. You know what I'm saying? It's not being played right now. I ain't got to not cuss, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I can cuss. But I have my ways of delivering information that, get to people. Because I have, 11 and 8-year-olds. Sometimes when I say stuff like, maybe don't do that, them jokers ain't listening. Yeah. But when I raise voice, them jokers be like, hair starts standing up, Mel, you know better now, don't you? But sometimes you just have to deliver it in a way where people can, you know what I mean? But you never know negative stuff. It's always all love. But don't come over here being no hypocrite, because you won't get far.
Absolutely. Love it.
And that's just how people are, you know what I mean? You cuss, I'm like, dang, damn, what's the difference?
Same shit.
Shoot shit. What the difference? Darn it. Oh, you grew up over there, didn't you? Exactly. Well, I grew up over there. Damn it, mom. You know what I'm saying? So same thing. Don't come over here trying to tell me. You know what I mean? Don't try to over-explain or under-explain, thinking that you doggone getting around the explaining. You didn't get that, did you?
I got it.
Don't over-explain or under-explain. Think you're getting around the explaining.
I got you.
You are not.
That's a gem right there. That's a gem. Love it. Good.
Yes, all that.
Yo, we go. I ain't go. Yo, I love this, man. I don't even want to end this. We go. I ain't gonna hold you all day. I would definitely want to hear what you got going on right now, what you got in the works. Tell the people where you at on social media, everything.
Well, social media. I don't really do Twitter, but I think I'm on Twitter somewhere. I think it's my real name. What am I? Kut Klose or Tabitha?
Tabitha Kut Klose, I believe.
Oh, okay. Hey, so often I get on there. I'm not on social media that much. I will come in every so often. Okay. And when I check the messages, I pick out who I'm like, what the hell, man?
That she does, people. She definitely does. Yeah, she scrolled like a Rolodex.
Yes. And so, Tabitha Kut Klose on Instagram and Tabitha Duncan on my regular, Facebook. I don't even have no fan page where people just, because I have to get rid of people.
Yeah,
they only have 5,000. That's because I wasn't really doing it for them back then. I was just doing it for me. Tabitha Duncan. And then Kut Klose just became big again because of social media. We've been looking for y'all. And I'm like, oh, you have. Oh, that is me. No.
Are y'all? I see a lot of people still, doing shows, but socially distant shows. Are y'all touring at all right now?
Well, I think what they want to do is these. I don't know. I think you have like maybe 90 people in some places.
Yeah. I
So
live
there.
because I'm here in Atlanta too, and they doing them outdoor car, concerts where you pull your car into like a drive-through style thing, and you have a concert, but you can sit in your car, you can get out and sit next to your car. That's what they doing downtown right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that yet. I know they've been doing those virtual things. And I'm like,
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, yeah, I want to be there.
I think they might come up with something where everybody need to go somewhere and have a mask on, just like they used to do with those earphones,
The
earphone
silent
parties.
party.
Yeah.
I love it. Like I said, I'm here when y'all have a show. I'll be there front row.
Everybody should wear those masks where it's just clear right here, and they just have that glasses on or something.
Oh, that little shield they have on. Yeah, I've been seeing people walk around.
That shit is crazy, yo.
I'm not doing that. I'm good.
Or what somebody's gonna have to do is create some kind of infrared light that goes through the building, and it cleans it and sterilizes it whenever people enter every 5 minutes or some shit.
I feel like I'm walking in Jurassic Park with that shit. Just you gotta wait before you go in the lab.
With the thought process of what's going on, it's all over the place.
It is. You're right.
Make it. You'll be like, wait a minute, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? It's got crazy distractions out there, man.
I would love to see y'all in concert. One day it's gonna happen. One day. So I plan on coming to.
We've done a few concerts in Atlanta, so you must not have been around.
If not, then I didn't hear about it because I didn't start going to concerts heavily until 2015. I've been here since 2010. So I mean.
Oh, okay. So what side of town?
I stay in Marietta.
Oh, I live in Sugar Hill.
Okay. See, we in the same city. Me, you. I interviewed Dave from Men at Large. He's out here.
Dave is my home. I've been knowing Dave back in the day with my ex-boyfriend who put Kut Klose together, because they wrote some stuff on his album, and that's why I know Dave.
Damn.
When I was with Emmanuel, oh my god! And before we even had an album, it was weird how because they work with a lot of people. A lot of people came through my house before Kut Klose was even out. So man, it's just crazy how you just meet people again. As you've been in the right place. You know what I'm saying? Like the structure of my life of what's happened from when I was born until now, and me knowing certain stops and steps that I've made for people to come back together. I'm like, there's no such thing as coincidence.
Got you. Shit, we all good. We gonna coincide in peace, and we gonna hope this thing is over so we can definitely catch you so y'all can get back on the road. You can do your thing, get out there and sing, and do your little pose after you finish the song. And we gonna definitely make it do what it do. So
absolutely,
I'm gonna definitely wrap this up. Don't hang up after this, so we can wrap. Okay. Thank y'all so much for tuning in with the Love to Laugh podcast, man. Tabitha has been amazing. She is a character herself. I'm gonna put her ass on stage at a comedy show if she ever comes. Definitely, because she's a nut.
Oh Lord.
She's a nut. But thank y'all so much, man. Make sure y'all check out Kut Klose. Go listen to their album on stream so they can get paid for this shit, because definitely music is not free. Do not bootleg nothing. Do not do anything. Support live music. That's all I have to say, man. Definitely follow Tabitha on social media at Tabitha Kut Klose. She's on social media. Shout her out. Say something to her. Say hi. Do something. Don't be weird, though. My name is Marlon Ballard. This is the Love to Laugh podcast. Thank y'all so much for tuning in.